Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you have seen the last 6 lectures of this chapter, force and pressure, and so we'll start with lecture number 7 today. So before I start, I just hope that all of you are safe and you are doing good in your life, and at this point of time please utilize your time in studying, because when the school will reopen, everything will move very fast. So in this lockdown period you are at your home, so utilize all the time at your home to do some studies. Now let's start with today's lecture number 7 or part 7. Now what we have studied yesterday, that pressure. We are studying about pressure. Now yesterday we have studied what? Pressure in solids. We have studied pressure in solids. And what we have studied? That a solid body applies a pressure on the surface which is kept. Or it applies a pressure on the surface which is kept. If a solid can apply pressure, and why a solid applies pressure also? Because every solid has a weight. Every solid has a weight, and because of his own weight, it applies a pressure. Like if I consider myself as a body, and I am a solid body, so I have my own weight, and because of my own weight, the weight that I have, that is the pressure that I am applying. So because of my own weight, I am applying a pressure on the ground that I am standing. Similarly, if solid which has weight, if it can apply some pressure, can we say the same thing for liquids? Does liquids applies pressure? Does all the liquid applies a certain kind of pressure on the surface? Answer is what? Answer is yes. See, if you take some water in a bottle, that water which is kept is a liquid. That water will have a certain mass or not? That water will have certain mass, 1 kg mass or 2 kg mass. So the water that is kept on the bottle, that is a liquid, and it has a certain amount of mass. Because of the mass, it will definitely have weight. Because of mass, any body which has mass, 5 kg mass, the weight becomes 5 kgf. If the bottle has a mass of water 2 kg, then the weight will be how much? 2 kgf. And because of the weight that the water has, that will apply a thrust. We have learned, because of the weight, it will apply a thrust, and because of the thrust, it will also apply a pressure. See, everything is related. A liquid has a mass. Because of the mass, it has weight. Because of the weight, it will apply a thrust. And if it applies a thrust on a unit area, it will definitely apply some kind of a pressure. So today's topic is about what? Pressure in liquid, or liquid pressure. So today's topic is liquids pressure applied by liquids. Now to be certain whether liquids apply pressure or not, we have to do certain kind of a experiment, because by the experiment only it can be proved, yes, liquid applies pressure. So what experiment we'll do? This is given in your book also. Take test tubes. Take 2 test tubes, one test tube and another test tube. Okay, take 2 test tubes, test tube A and test tube B. You take 2 test tubes. Now what you do, you take a balloon and you put the balloon at the end of both the test tubes. You take a balloon like this, okay? A balloon which is a deflated balloon, not the balloon which has air inside it. A balloon doesn't have air inside it, and put the balloon at the end of each test tube. one side you keep it open, other side you fit a balloon. After you put the balloon, what you do? You fill this test tube B with water. So you put water on the test tube B. You put water, this is water. And test tube A is what? Keep test tube A empty. Don't put any kind of water. Now after some time, what you will watch? You will watch that test tube B, the balloon of the test tube B has inflated. Inflated means became large in size. Became like air is inside. Over there, there is not air, there is water inside. So the balloon became inflated. This balloon became inflated, and this balloon is in the normal way. So by this experiment, what you understood? Why this balloon got inflated? This balloon got inflated because the water which is kept in test tube B, applies pressure. This water applies a pressure in the downward direction. And because of the pressure which is applied in the downward direction, the balloon got inflated. So what do you understood from this experiment? Water applies pressure. You understood what? Water applies pressure. But to be more exact, water applies pressure in what direction over here? In this experiment, in what direction? See the arrows. It is applying pressure in the downward direction. Water applies pressure in the downward direction. We came to know that water applies pressure now in the downward direction. But I am not convinced with it. I want to also see whether water applies pressure in the sideways or not. Like you tell me all this. You tell me, if I keep a solid body, okay? This is a solid body. For a solid body, where is the pressure? The pressure that is applied by the solid body is only in the downward direction. But liquid also applies pressure in the downward direction. But I also want to know, just tell me whether solid applies pressure in the sideways. Does solid applies pressure in the sideways? Is there any kind of pressure in this direction? Answer is what? No. There is no pressure in the sideways. If I have a solid body, the pressure will be in the downward direction, but there will be no pressure in the sideways. So for a solid body, pressure is only applied in the downward direction. But in the liquid body, but for the liquid body, it applies pressure in the downward direction. I want to know whether liquid body also applies pressure in the sideways or not. I want to know. So for that, I will repeat one experiment. I will do one experiment. And what experiment I will do? I take the same test tubes. I take the same test tube and put a hole over here. And I take the same test tube and also I put a hole over here. Put two holes over here. And what I do, I put a balloon over here and also I put a balloon over here. Now I fill this test tube with water, and this test tube A, I keep it empty. As I fill the test tube B, this is test tube B, as I fill the test tube B with water, what I notice that the balloon again inflated. By this experiment, I came to know what? That water not only applies pressure in the downward direction, but also applies pressure in the sideways also. So the water applies pressure in the downward, also in the sideways. So water applies pressure in the downward direction, also applies pressure in the sideways. So by this way I came to know these two experiments. If I keep the balloon over here, this balloon bulges. So by this I know water applies pressure in the downward direction. If I put the balloon over here, I also know that the water applies pressure in the sideways. So I think these two parts are understood. Now after this I want to know, I do one more experiment. I take a balloon, a big balloon. I take a big balloon, okay, and fill the whole balloon with water. Fill the whole balloon with water. There is a balloon and I fill the whole balloon with water. After that, what I do? I put some hole over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I made total 8 holes on the different directions of the balloon. Okay, on the different directions of the balloon. And what I notice, that water comes out from this hole, 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 from this hole. So what I notice is that water is coming from all the holes, So water comes from all the holes. Water comes from all the holes with the same pressure, coming from all the holes. But if you see the same pressure, so water comes from all the holes with same pressure. So by this experiment, what I came to know? I came to know that water applies pressure not only in downward or in sideways, it applies pressure in all the direction. So liquids, actually not water, liquids apply pressure in all the directions. So by this experiment, if I put holes on different points and water comes out same way from all the point, that by this experiment I came to know what? That the water applies pressure in all the direction, not only downward or sideways, in all the directions. So these 3 experiments are there in your book. Please go through this experiment and try to understand. I have explained it, but once you go through this book and try to read these 3 experiments, because why these 3 experiments are very important? Because the concept which I will be teaching today is much related to these experiments. If you understand this experiment, then the concept that we will study after here won't be difficult for you to understand. So what we understood from the first experiment, water applies pressure in the downward direction. What we also understood from the second experiment, that water applies pressure in the sideways. And what we understood from the third experiment, this is which one is the one which is this, that water applies pressure in all the direction. So downward, sideways, and all the ways, all the directions. Okay. So by these 3 experiments, we understood this part. Now, the pressure which is applied by liquid, depends on 2 factors. First one is called height and second one is called density. So pressure applied by any liquid depends upon only these 2 factors, height and density. For class 8, in class 9 you will come to know there is third factor known as acceleration due to gravity with the value of g. So we are now limiting ourselves to class 8 only. In class 9 when I will teach you what is the third factor also, but I am not going to go over there. So water pressure applied by liquids depends upon 2 factors. One is called height, second is called density. Now we'll discuss about the density a little later. Let's concentrate on height. Let me tell you, in your book it is given height, but in many cases you will consider the height as depth. We will consider the height as depth also. So let's take an example to understand this concept. You take a tank of water, okay, you take a water tank and fill this whole tank by water, okay. Now you make two holes. You make the first hole over here at position A, and you make the second hole at B at position B. Okay, these are the 2 points where you make the hole, and this is what? This is the surface of water. Now what you notice is that if you make two holes, water will start coming from both the holes, but the way the water will come from both the holes will be different. The water which is coming from hole B will be something like this. If I consider this as the base, it will be something like this. And the water which is coming from hole A will be something like this. Did you understood? The water which is coming from hole B goes to a much further distance. Okay, this is the distance. And the water which is coming from hole A travels a shorter distance. Now why it is behaving in this way? Over here we'll consider the height of water, but in more general, if I have to use the water, we'll consider not the height of water, we'll consider the depth of water. So normally we measure height from where? See why I'm calling it as a depth. More often or not, we call this water depth. The difference between height and depth, when we measure height, we always go from bottom to top. This is height. That is how we measure the height. Height of Eiffel Tower, height of Burj Dubai, height of Charminar. So we measure the height from bottom to top. This is called height. But when we measure depth of Marina Trench, so this is the sea, and there is a somewhere the Marina Trench is, okay. This is the Marina Trench. We measure the depth from top to bottom. So height is measured from bottom to top, depth is measured from top to bottom. I think you understood the difference between height and depth. So over here we will be talking more about depth. We will be considering this factor rather than the height. So over here the depth of A, what is the depth of A? The depth of A is from here to here, is from here to here. And what is the depth of B? Depth of B is from here to here. From here to here. Now you tell me whose depth is more, A's or B's? Tell me, A's depth is more or B depth is more? It is clearly seen that the depth of B is more, depth of A is less. This is less distance. Consider this as 5 meter. Whereas depth of B, consider this as 15 meter. So depth of B is more, depth of A is less. So as depth of B is more, as the depth of B is more, the water also comes out with more pressure. The water which is coming out of B comes out with more pressure. As it comes out of more pressure, the water happens to travel. The water happens to travel a much greater distance. Okay, so because of more depth, more pressure, because of more pressure, more distance the water travels. A, less depth, because of less depth, less pressure, less distance. So I think this part is understood to you. So I think you have no confusion regarding this part, that pressure of the liquid depends on height. The first factor is height. Now talking about this only, I will try to continue. I will just teach you one thing with this only, because these are all related. Have you ever seen a dam? a Maithon Dam which is near our house. I think most of you have visited that place, Maithon Dam. Obviously, during picnics, if you go in December picnics, we happen to go there only. Now, if you see a dam very closely, what is the shape of the Maithon Dam? I'm talking about the shapes. This is the base. This is the dam. Now, this is the shape of the dam. This is the shape of the dam, okay? Now, if you see the shape of this is the shape of the dam, and the water level on one side is much higher. This is the level of water. This is the level of water. Now, wondering why the shape of dam is like this? Have you ever wondered why the shape of the dam is like this? Why the shape of dam is not like a wall? Why it is kept in this shape? Because if you see the depth, the structure of the dam, as the depth increases, the thickness of the dam also increases. So as the depth in your book is written height, but I'm just saying over here in this chapter the height and depth have the similar meaning, but actually it is not. But in your book height and depth have the same meaning. As the depth increases, as we go down, thickness also increases. Thickness of the wall also happens to increase. Can you see the thickness of the wall is increasing? Why this is happening like this? Because of just now what I explained to you. Water, say if I talk about this one over here and this point. Where is the pressure? This is point A and this is point B. Where is the pressure of water is more, at A or at B? Tell me, where is the pressure of the water is more, at A or B? Obviously, I told you, as the depth increases, the pressure also increases. So, at the point B, the water applies more pressure. As point depth B, the water applies more pressure. And at depth A, it applies less pressure. So over here, less pressure. This is say P1 and this is say P2. So P1 is greater than P2. The pressure over here is greater than the pressure over here. So since pressure at the bottom of the dam is enormous, is very big, is very high, so to withstand that pressure, this pressure means the pressure P1, I need a thicker wall. Because this pressure over here is much higher. So I need a thicker wall over here to withstand that pressure P1. But on the top, this pressure P2 is less pressure because the depth is, see, this is only the depth. So as the depth is less, pressure at point A is also less. So P2 is less. So to withstand the less pressure, I do not need a thick wall. I need a considerable, this much of thickness is enough. So that is why thickness increases as we go down. As more the depth, more the thickness, less the depth, less the thickness. Because less depth, less pressure, less thickness, more depth, more pressure, more thickness. Simple concept. So I think you understood these two concepts. Now I have told, now the first part of this part is clear. So pressure of a liquid depends upon the first factor, which is height, also depth. Height, also depth over here. The second factor, what I told you, the second factor also I told you, it depends upon the density of the liquid. It depends upon the density of the liquid. To explain this, I will take a small example. I take a test tube, two test tubes. Okay, two test tube I take. and I fill the test tube and I put a balloon at each surface. I put a balloon at the bottom. I put a balloon. Now what happens, as you know, what I do is that I put on test tube A liquid. I put on test tube A one liquid, and that liquid is what? I put water. And on the second test tube I put another liquid, and I will say I will put what? I'll put a honey. Honey, you understand? Honey. It is very sweet to eat. Okay, I'll put a honey. Now you tell me which more denser. Which one denser? Denser means what? कौन सा घना ज़्यादा है? घना. हाँ. In Bengali we say घनत्व. Now tell me which has more density. Which is more denser, a water or a honey? Answer is what? Honey. This is more denser. Water is rarer, not that density. Okay. So because of more density of the honey, the balloon which is put at A, the balloon will expand more. This balloon will try to expand more. And this balloon, because of water, will expand, but expand less. So you can see this expands less and this expands more. So honey, because as I put honey, it has more density, the balloon expands more. Water, which is less density, the balloon expands less. So by this, what you understood? Achha, the height of water is same. Over here, the height of water is same. Suppose if you put 1 meter of water, and over here also I put 1 meter of water. So in both the situation, the height of water is same, but in both the situation, the height of the liquids are same, but one liquid I take it as water and the second liquid I take it as honey. So water less density, balloon expands less. Honey is more denser, it expands more. So you understood the two concepts. So the two concepts are what? That pressure applied by a liquid depends upon two factors. One is height and second is density. More the height, more the pressure. Less the height, less the pressure. Also depends upon density. More the density of the liquid, more the pressure. Less the density of the liquid, less the pressure. Now after this, we'll continue with the small parts. Now I'll take an experiment to prove you something. I'll take a water running through a pipe. This is a water running through a pipe. This is a pipe. In the first, I put a shape of a vessel something like this. In the second, I put a vessel something like this. Over here, I put a vessel something like this. And over here, I put a vessel something as this. So, now what happens? Water runs through the pipe. Water runs through the pipe. This water is running through the pipe. As water goes through the pipe, water will rise in each of the vessels. So water will rise over here till over here. Water will rise till over here. Okay, water rises till here. Over here, water rises till here. Over here, water rises. So water rises in all the pipe. But the most interesting thing to observe is that the rise of water is same height. Over here, if the height of this vessel is 2 meter, over here also it is 2 meter, over here also 2 meter, over here also 2 meter. So water rises in all the vessel to the same height, and this is what? This is a property of any liquid. Any liquid happens, all the, if I put the same water across the pipe and the pipe is connected to many vessels, if I put water through a pipe and the pipe is connected to many vessels, 1 2 3 4, what I get to see is what that water rises in all of the vessels to a same height, and this thing is called as what? This thing is called hydrostatic paradox. Okay, this thing is called hydrostatic paradox. Acha, it might happen over here more water, the amount of water is different. Here is more water, here is less water. That amount of water or the volume of water is different, but the height of water is same in all the 3-4 situations. Okay, now after this we have what? Okay, now after this this is given in the short part. Okay, after this you have seen people going under the sea, deep sea divers. Those people are called as deep sea divers. They go very deep under the ocean or the seas. Why they go? That is also a question. They are not going for fun. They are going to search for pearls. Pearls, those are very expensive items that are found in oysters. So to find pearls, they go deep inside the ocean. But if I talk about, this is the level of ocean, and sorry, this is the level of water, and this is the bottom of the ocean. The people happen to go to this height. Okay, the people happen to go deep inside the water. This is the level of the sea. Okay, this is the boat in which his friends are there, and he goes inside the sea. Now obviously at the bottom of the sea, will this person experience any kind of pressure? Answer is what? Of course, he will experience enough pressure at the bottom of the sea. When he will go at the bottom of the sea, his body will experience lot of pressure. Why? Because tons and tons of water is above him. That weight of water is putting pressure on his body. But to make sure that the person doesn't experience that enormous pressure, that person happens to wear a special kind of a suit. Okay, rubber suit. A special kind of suit is worn by those deep sea divers to tolerate or to withstand that enormous pressure of the ocean. Okay, so this thing you understood. The last thing of today's lecture is something related to class 9's physics, but I'll give you a little gist about what is upthrust or buoyancy. This is related to class 9, but take a note of this. Suppose this is a bucket of water, bucket of water, and you put a container inside it. You put a container inside it. Okay, you put a container inside it. Now, what will happen? This is water, full water. First thing before I teach, I just want to say, pressure, if it's pressure 1 and pressure 2, if they are applied on the same direction, then we add the pressure, then we add it, P1 plus P2. Say P1, P2, both the same direction, so we add it. But if the pressures are in the different direction, P1, P2, opposite direction, this pressure this way, so that time we subtract the pressure. The resultant pressure is P1 minus P2, and when both the pressure are in the same direction, the resultant pressure is P1 plus P2. Know this thing, okay? Same direction we add it, opposite direction we subtract it. Now, will the container will experience a pressure at the bottom? Answer is yes, because the water will come and give a pressure, say P1. Let me put it a nice way. So this container at the bottom will experience a pressure of P1. At the bottom it will experience a pressure of P1 by the water. On the top, will it experience a pressure? Yes, it will experience a pressure of P2. So P1 on the bottom, P2 from the top. Now, which one is more, P1 or P2? Think, which pressure is more, P1 or P2? I told you, pressure at the bottom, more the depth, more the pressure. So P1 over here is greater than P2. P1 is more, P2 is at a smaller height, so P2 will be less. So P1 more, P2 less. Now think, are both the pressures are in the same direction or different direction? They are in the different direction. So if they are in the different direction, the resultant pressure will be what? Resultant pressure will be what? P1 minus P2. So I told you different direction, so subtract. So resultant pressure is P1 minus P2. Okay. Now we also come to know about a formula that pressure is equal to thrust by area. We happen to know this formula, pressure is equal to thrust by area. Now what is the resultant pressure? P1 minus P2. What is thrust? Yesterday I taught you what is thrust. Thrust is nothing but a force only. Thrust is nothing but a force. So instead of thrust I will write force. And area, what is the area? This is the area. This is the area. Okay, this is the area. So I will write area as A. Okay, so pressure is thrust by area. What is the resultant pressure? I told you P1 and P2 opposite direction. So P1 minus P2. P1 is more the depth, more the pressure. P2 is less the depth, less the pressure. So resultant pressure is P1 minus P2. So resultant pressure is P1 minus P2, which is equal to thrust by area. Thrust is nothing but a force and area is this surface. This is the area over here. Now if I do the cross multiplication, can I say force is equal to P1 minus P2 into A? Think, force is equal to P1 minus P2 into A. A will go from this side to this side. Now this force over here is a resultant force which will try to bring the body back to the surface. If you take a small mug and put it under the water, you know what you will experience. Think, if you take a mug and put it under the water, what you will experience? That the mug is trying to come upward. You will feel a pressure in your hand that the mug is trying to come upward. That upward force which the mug is giving on your hand, that upward force over here is actually called as upthrust. So upthrust is the upward force. Thrust is what? Down, upthrust. Force in the upward direction. So normal thrust, downward, upthrust, upward. So upthrust is equal to what? P1 minus P2 into area means what? Difference in pressure. Difference in pressure into area. So upthrust is equal to difference in pressure into area. So this is the concept of pressure. Pressure in liquids. So I hope everything related to this thing is understood. If you haven't understood, please watch the video. As I say always, please watch the video once more, and hopefully I hope that everything becomes clear to you. By saying this, just I want to say that watch the entire video from 1 to 6 and then come to video number 7. Then only you will understand the videos in a much more clear way. As I always say, don't skip the video or only watch first 3 to 4 minutes. Watch the entire video. If you haven't understood, please watch it once more. But make sure your concepts in physics becomes clear. Then only higher in class 9 and class 10 things will be easier for you. This thing which I taught you just now is actually there in class 9. So see, in class 8 you are given just a gist. In class 9 you will be understood the whole thing about the whole upthrust concept. So watch the entire video, and if you happen to enjoy my video, please give a like, and doubts ask in the say in the comments, and subscribe to my channel. And one thing, please share this video also, because right now in the lockdown period also there are many jobs, because the world economy is crashing and many students doesn't happen to afford the tuition fees. So if you can share the videos with them, so it will be much easier for them also to be in their academic from the academic point of view. So share this video so that every students who cannot afford any tuitions there is no stoppage, so there is no hurdles in their studies. So do that and take care of yourself.